G'day folks, how you going? It's Brad here from the Headshot Guys, and today I'm going to talk to you quickly a little bit about posing. Now, posing for a headshot. People go, what sort of posing do you do for a headshot? Well, I think it's very important that people look good from the feet up, even though I'm only shooting them probably from their chest up. You're not going to see the bottom half of their body or the bottom 3/4 of their body for that matter. But it's still important how they position themselves and how they are positioned so that it will reflect up and will give them a better feeling across their shoulders and through their head. Now, what I mean by that is that people say, well, how come you just don't stand people up? Well, I don't stand people up because the main reason is I'm short. I'm not horribly short, but I'm just short. So I think I'm about 5'6" or 5'7", maybe 5'7", out of I don't know, about 171, I think, centimetres. I'm old school, so I don't know how that translates into what it is now, 171 centimetres. I think I used to be 172, something along those lines. So, okay. For the sake of the exercise, I'm not terribly tall. So if I want to shoot at somebody's eye level and they're 6'3", well, I need to come up with a strategy to get them down so that I can shoot them at eye level. And I've done videos about why I want to shoot at eye level. There's a whole bunch of videos there. I won't explain that today. So for the sake of the exercise, I'm short. I need to get people down so that without standing on a tiptoes and standing on a stool or doing any of those sort of silly things, I can stand on the floor with my tripod and I can shoot somebody with the camera level being at about this level here. So what I do is I sit people down. Now, I have a stool here in the background. You can see it. It is here, there. And what I do is I get people to perch on the stool. Now, let me explain to you why. Now, why I don't have them sit down on the stool, because generally when people sit, they slouch or they slump. Yeah, I don't want people slouching and slumping, because for me it's important how their shoulders are balanced and how their shoulders look across their body in relation to their neck and their head. So what I get people to do is to kind of lean against the stool. Yeah, so what they do is instead of sitting down on it, what they do is they slide their bum to the edge and they have their feet flat on the floor. And depending on how tall they are, they might have their feet straight, but if they're not all that tall, they can have a bit of a bend in their legs. But what that does, it allows them to bring their center of gravity down to a certain level. Now, again, if they're really, really 8 foot tall, then there's something else we have to think about. But generally, for most people, this works pretty well. So basically what that means is that their center of gravity is down, but they can still be uppish. They can still have a straight back and they can still look good through the rest of their core and up to their shoulders and to their neck. Now, generally I'll have people with their hands together in the front with their fingers interlocked, and what that does, it relaxes their shoulders. Now, some people, I'll get them to hold their hands out here like this. Yeah, I think somebody coined the phrase holding a sub or something. Again, depends on their shoulders, yeah? But often people are just relaxing their shoulders with their fingers interlocked, sitting or perched on the stool like this, yeah? So that's the standard position for average people that come into my studio for a headshot session. And generally that is all about me being short and getting people so I can shoot them at eye level. The next thing in relation to posing is going to be their shoulders. Now, often people that are facing forward with their shoulders, if they're broad-shouldered blokes, they can look confrontational. Not always, but they can look confrontational. So again, that'll be an adjustment or an assessment that I'll make when I see their pictures come up on the screen. Now, I do shoot tethered, which means I have a 30-inch screen in here and I'm connected by a tether cable. And again, I've done other videos about that, but I shoot into a 30-inch screen. So it's instant feedback. You take a shot and you can see it on this big screen. Lightroom has really good tethering. And what's also important is my client can see it straight away. So it means that they're seeing their images, I'm seeing the images that are coming up, and we can look at them and we can decide as we go along, oh, actually, yeah, no, listen, I do look a bit broad-shouldered and I do look confrontational. Maybe I do need to turn my body a little bit, yeah? So I'll often turn people one way and I'll turn them the other, yeah? And that will soften them, yeah? And it can also slim them down a little bit as well. So that's another trick. If someone's quite large, and you want to slim them down, you just turn them a little bit. So the distance between here to here, particularly when you're taking a still photograph, is much shorter than what it is when it's from here to here. Yeah, and you can do the maths on all that kind of stuff. But so some people I'll turn with their right shoulder facing forward, others I'll do with their left. So it just depends. And that was opposite, so it looked weird on my camera. Anyway, so that's what you would do if you want to soften somebody or make them look thinner. Yeah, it's a bit of a trick. So posing. So then the next thing we talk about is their head. Now, as I've talked about before, we're not going to get too far into expressions here today, but there's three main things I'll look at when I'm looking at angles in relation to somebody's head. I'll look at their hair part, I'll look at their bigger eye, and I'll look at which side of their mouth they smile out of first. And so let's talk about the hair. People will often part their hair on their favoured side of their face, whether they are doing it deliberately or not. Some people just go, oh yeah, my hair just goes that way, mate, and that's the way it goes. It's like, okay, cool. So, and that's fine. Other people, they're very deliberate about the way that they part their hair. Now, some women, not all, some women will part their hair on their favoured side of their face. Now, what they're doing is they're actually opening up their favoured side of their face and they're saying to the world, hey, look at me from this angle because it looks better. Yeah. So again, some people think about it, some people don't. So that's something to keep in mind. So I so often see headshot photographers or people that have had their headshot photographed and they've got all this hair going down here. Now, some people, they do it deliberately because they're trying to hide behind their hair. I get women that come in and their hair's like this, and then it's getting it back off their face so that we can actually see their face. That's a whole new, different ball game, that one. But generally speaking, people will part their hair on their favoured side of their face. So if somebody has a straight part, yeah, or they're parted in the middle, often what that tells me is that they like to be photographed straight ahead. Their favourite side is straight ahead. They're not going to favour one side or the other. Yeah. So have a look at that. You need to be able to understand a little bit more about people's faces, not just, oh, she's cute, let's take a picture. Yeah. It's about understanding, why does she look cute? Now, generally people, the Brad Pitts and the Angelina Jolies of the world, they look good because their faces are symmetrical. So our job is to find the best symmetry for our clients' faces. And what that means is moving their face. It might be that much. It might be that much. Yeah, it's often not like this and it's often not like that. It might be just this much or this much, one way or the other. It's up to you to balance and move and ask them to move their head ever so much so that we can find their best symmetry. Okay, so the next thing I talk about after I've looked at their hair part and worked out, okay, which side of their head do they have their hair parted on, and how relevant is that hair part in relation to how they present themselves to the world. You look at their eyes. Now, a huge amount of people, I heard 86% of people have one eye bigger than the other. Yeah. Now, I get loads of people come in here and they've got no idea. I go, oh, your left eye is bigger than your right eye. And they go, what? What are you talking about? They have no clue. So understanding that is very important to understanding why someone might present one side of their face to the world and not the other side primarily. Yeah. Now, the other thing we talk about is their mouth. Now, people have a smile. When people smile, often, not always, but often, their mouth will start to sneak up on one side first. The other side will catch up by the time it gets to the big smile, but it will start to sneak up on one side first. So often what I do is I'll call that side their more approachable side. Now, what I also find, again, generalizations, not always, but I'll find that the side of their mouth that starts to sneak up, the side of their face with the mouth that starts to sneak up first, their opposite side will be their bigger eye. Not always, but that's often what I find. So, and what I do then is I say, okay, well, this side with your smiley mouth is probably your more approachable side, and the other side is your stronger side. Now, when I shoot, and I'm shooting tethered, like I said before, into a big screen, I'll photograph both sides with them turned a little bit this way, and a little bit this way, and we can work out. And what I like to be able to say, well, you choose. Yeah, you decide which side you like better. You have a look at the images and you go, oh, I like that side better. And so many people come in and they've parted their hair on this side of their face for the last 20 years and they change it and start parting it on this side of their face because all of a sudden they go, oh, actually that side looks better. No wonder I always look like crap in photos. Often that's why. So then that's how I start to determine which side of a person's face or what angle someone's face will be at when I'm photographing their headshots. So that's all you get today. I hope that helps. Quick recap, really important how someone might sit or stand or be in your studio. So give that some thought when you're shooting headshots. How are people standing? Are they hanging off to one side? Are they sloping? If they're standing up and you've got them standing up, we'll have them flat-footed if you can. Don't have them leaning too much, otherwise you get the whole shoulder thing. In relation to their hands, having their hands down by their waist with their fingers interlocked will often help. If their fingers are not interlocked, often you can have them doing stuff and you can notice it in their shoulders. Their shoulders will be off balance. So interlock their fingers, have them nice and relaxed across the shoulder, but have them uppish, straight back if they can. I don't have shoulders up, don't have them pushed back. It's just nice and relaxed across the shoulders. Then have a look at their hair part. Yeah, that will often determine what side of their face a person likes better. People will often part their hair on their favoured side of their face, yeah? Have a look for their bigger eye. Which one of their eyes is bigger? Is it obvious? Some people, yeah, you can just barely tell, so it doesn't matter. Other people, big eye, small eye, yeah? Which side of their mouth do they smile out of first? Because that's going to be their more smiley side, maybe their more approachable side, yeah? So start looking for all these things and you can start to make better decisions about which way a person might have their head angled, yeah? I hope that makes sense. I'm Brad from the Headshot Guys. See you next time.